What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the DX Gamer Show. My name is Mike, aka Operation DX, and here we are on episode 16, continuing our quest to develop a successful space program. So we did unlock some research in the previous episode, going to a couple of different biomes on the moon, and here we are unlocking those critical technologies that I've most been looking forward to in this entire series. So get the ISRU unit, the drill, the storage unit, and an extra science package. There is a top tier research for this. I think that gives us better storage and a bigger container. I have just not enough science to unlock the mainsail, which I definitely want, so I can do some other flights. Unfortunately, we are kind of sidetracking again in this episode, but I promise I will spare you the full flight of this. So I'm going to add a couple extra science packages to my standard ship here that pretty much has been the workhorse of our space program, flying to the moons and stuff, and even the lifter got us to Duna and stuff. So yeah, I will at some point probably during the next episode, because we're gonna have to deploy a heavy mining rig somewhere, most likely the moon. So we're gonna have to change up our launch vehicle, but not during this episode, unfortunately. I'm gonna go ahead and we're heading over to Minmus to collect a little more science. Actually, not a little more science. I plan to get a ton of science. I'm going to try to hit 3 different biomes and try to collect a few more resources. I forgot to bring along a scientist on this mission, unfortunately, which I wanted to level up one of my other scientists, but that's okay. No big deal. Jeb can handle it. We all know Jeb can handle it. So off to Minmus we go. And like I said, there's going to be a ton of cuts in this episode because I want to spare you guys another very similar type episode. I promise in the next episode things will be different, although we're probably going back to the moon, but we're going back to the moon with what I've been most looking forward to, and that is a mining rig. And then we can plan for possibly some interplanetary flying using a base of some sorts from the moon. So got to kind of see how this whole mining thing works. I'm super interested. So that is definitely going to happen next episode, and I can't wait to get to it. So landing down on Minmus here in our first biome. I didn't realize there's so many different places that you can collect science on both the moon and Minmus. It's kind of sad, but it's good that actually I didn't realize this in the beginning, because I probably would have, I only had a couple of the science packages and it would have been much less valuable, and then I would have to like re-come to like a lot of these places with just the other ones, and I wouldn't be able to get science with the standard equipment. So yeah, it's fine how it worked out, I think. It is, however, pretty interesting how I feel like I've unlocked a ton of stuff on the tech tree, and there's just like total areas that I've completely ignored, especially in the aircraft department, like all the aerodynamic stuff and better engines and better parts, which I really like those parts, and I like the new stuff that they've added to the game too, but pretty much been focusing on rockets this whole time. I don't know, like, I get in the mood where I like to fly the planes and do the SSTOs and stuff, but this time it's been kind of like all business, especially during the last couple of episodes. Like the first, I did get sidetracked a little bit to do planes because, it's fun to play around. But yeah, particularly I wanted to show this footage because somehow Jeb managed to destroy all of the solar panels on this craft in the first landing site. Fortunately, this has a lot of battery power built into it, and it doesn't have a transmitter, so I just have to fly around and be sparing with the SAS and all that, and the lights. Oh man, but I don't understand how he broke off all of the solar panels. He should have just broke one of them, but he broke every single solar panel on the entire ship, so I don't know. That was just crazy. Maybe just the force I hit it or whatever. So yeah, weird bugs kind of happen, that kind of thing. So here you can see where I landed on the first site, and there's actually two biomes on the top of Minmus. So there's like, I don't know if it's considered like highlands, and then there's like the polar region or whatever. But yeah, like I didn't realize it, so I kind of mistakenly stumbled across this as I was doing this, because here, unfortunately, because I didn't bring the scientist, Jeb couldn't keep the SAS enabled. So when I disabled the SAS, the craft started to tilt over. So I had to go find a flatter spot. But I was kind of looking and say, oh, hey, you know, this is this certain area here. And the place I landed is actually a new area. So I was able to hit those three biomes in a relatively fast manner. But I wasn't able to get out of the ship to get the EVA report and the surface sample. So I had to get my Kerbal out and store all the science that I've collected and make sure I'm not overwriting stuff. I do that often. I don't overwrite stuff, but I check too often to see if like I can get the science, and then it's asked me if I can overwrite. But yeah, I had to fly Jeb over, and I don't know what's going on here with this whole like ladder thing on Minmus. He's just slowly just kind of drifting up the ladder on his own. I'm not doing that. He's doing that all by himself. And now here I'm just trying to collect science and figure out where I last left off here. So Minmus ground samples are worth a ton of science. So here I'm just kind of putting it away. Definitely got to turn on my lights because it's tough to see in the polar regions. Of course, you always get sunlight, and if I had my solar panel still, I would be getting some power. So yeah. Anyways, so I'm pretty much disembarking my craft again here. I'm heading off to go get my EVA report and surface sample, because that is literally worth an additional like 200 some science, which I definitely want to collect. And I didn't mean for this Minmus mission to take up more than half of the episode, but it just kind of did, even though I edited out a ton of stuff. I definitely wanted to show Jeb breaking up the solar panel, so that was kind of like a crazy thing here. But, yep, getting my my science here. Sorry, guys, but this will probably be the most science I've collected to date, because I hit 3 biomes. I unlocked an additional science piece of equipment. And it's kind of funny because each of these pieces of equipment are becoming more and more and more expensive, making my craft super expensive. But that's okay, because I'm able to return a lot of it. So like this upper part of the craft is almost worth 100,000 credits, money. I say the same thing every time. But yeah. And then again, my solar panels were heating up, but there were no solar panels, so it didn't matter if they broke off and exploded and all that good stuff. Finally landing down safely back at Kerbin, and now I can kind of do what I wanted to do originally. But I wanted to get this extra science to knock it out of the way, even though I could have launched the rocket that is going to scan the surface of the moon to give me the resource data. And then here, again, I'm just checking. It looks like I can get a little extra science. Some of these packages obviously don't work in certain environments, and I double check them anyways to make sure. But, yep, just, you know, a couple extra science doesn't hurt, even if it's only like 4 science, that kind of thing, if I haven't spent my my packages. I've already logged the temperature here, so there's no science available, but I still check anyways. All right, so it is pretty much time to recover this craft and take a look at my rewards for that Minmus mission. And as you can see, I got a ton of science, and that is exactly what I was looking for. And we haven't even gone like I totally want to do some missions to other places. I mean, we've gone to Duna. We still have that contract to set up a base on Ike. I'm kind of jonesing to go to Eve a little bit. I totally didn't do that in my .22 series. I didn't go to Eve at all. It's really difficult to land down on Eve and get back up, so I don't know if I'll do that. But the moon is super easy to land on, and there's probably a ton of science value there. Well, I don't know if a ton, but a good amount. Maybe about the same as Duna's science level. I don't know. But here we are, launching our package. This is the rocket that I created to scan down. So nothing super spectacular. 4 solar panels, 4 batteries. You have to have a transmitting array of some kind, and of course the main scanning device. Also, carefully reading the instructions, you have to put this guy into a polar orbit around the body. I don't know if it works around an equatorial orbit. I don't think it does. I don't know. But it's specifically said to put it in a polar orbit. So that's what I'm doing, putting it in a polar orbit, which makes sense. I mean, that is, in fact, the best way. I don't know where that came from. That is, in fact, the best way to get surface data and all that sort of thing. So, yeah. This is something, oh my gosh, I've been looking forward to this entire series. Starting to do this stuff. So... just a couple of correction burns on my way over to the moon, which I knew I had to do. No big deal. Using the same launch vehicle. Man, why do I keep... I don't know what that's all about. Oh, anyways, my voice is like starting to crack or something. That's kind of odd. Anyways, I'm almost set up here and get to see what this thing is all about. I simply just need to burn retrograde, and this thing has plenty of fuel, as we've demonstrated way too many times already in this series that this vehicle is more than capable of doing missions to the moon and Minmus. That's why I keep using it. I should rename it to Old Faithful, because it's launched a lot of my vehicles. I'm also trying to keep the cost down, because once I start building, rockets that can go further and potential interplanetary rockets, they are going to get much more expensive, especially the one that I keep launching for the science packages. I mean, the top part alone is worth $100,000, and I'm not doing these for contracts. I'm doing these missions on my own, so it's costing me my hard-earned cash. So I have to start probably doing contracts again in a little bit. I still have a little over $1 million. I did upgrade the science facility to maximum, and that was super expensive. I don't know if it was like $2 million something, but it was super, super expensive. Here I'm just kind of being picky, getting myself in a more stable orbit. I don't know, I forgot what the scanning range on this particular scanner was. I know the really big one, I think it's like 500,000 meters, but I think this one might be 100,000 meters. And I think this one works in conjunction with the surface scanner, so you can get better information or better details. Ooh, here we go. Here we go. Here comes the good stuff, guys. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and deploy my scanner. And I don't think I need to point this thing down at the planet, but I'm just going to do that anyways. And now I just need to perform a survey, and I think this gives me a little bit of science. I don't know how much, maybe like 10, I think it said. Something about 10 science each area uncovered or something. Not sure. So just transmitting that data, I guess, and that's how it works. And let's just check on this thing again. And, ooh, so I see a little purple hue around the planet. Looks like I can adjust it to different modes. Very cool. This looks fantastic. Oh, wow. This is great. So I think this is actually better than how Kethane works, in my opinion. So I assume that the red or hot spots are where the resources are. So that looks like a great spot there right next to that crater. So that looks like probably the landing zone for my next mission to set up a drilling rig. And depending on how fast these drilling rigs operate, if I have to set down multiple, I don't know. But anyways, that pretty much wraps things up for this episode. Thanks for watching, guys. I'll see you next time.